Essentials of School Leadership Part 3. (4) System leadership, leadership outside the walls of the school. In certain nations, local educational authorities, districts, and municipalities foster links between schools to cultivate and disseminate best practices. For many school leaders, successfully cooperating with other schools and school leaders, building relationships of interdependence and trust is a new role that is not always simple, especially in situations where competition is still king. As various types of cooperation are commonly referred to, system leadership entails focusing leaders' energies on the well-being of all children and youth in a city, town, or region, rather than just their own schools. Everyone's schools and communities gain from a profession-wide focus on development that allows access to outside learning support. The duty of the school leader includes interacting with the local community in a way that affects the outside factors that have an impact on students' learning. In several nations, the community has long been seen as a crucial resource in the improvement of schools. In your setting, what mechanisms and incentives exist to encourage school leaders to engage with those outside of their own school for the benefit of student learning? Improved responsibility definition frameworks. The primary responsibilities of school administrators are not always evident. For the profession of school leadership, some nations have created frameworks or standards that provide coherence and direction on the traits and duties of school leaders. It is crucial to take into account both the requirements of national education systems and the research on effective leadership practice when creating leadership frameworks. To create a sense of ownership over these frameworks, representatives of the school leadership profession must collaborate with policymakers during the design and development phases. School leaders can and should be hired, trained, and evaluated on the basis of frameworks. What advantages do or could leadership frameworks provide in your situation? Policy lever 2, distributing school leadership. The functions and responsibilities of school leadership are escalating quickly beyond what can be expected of one person. The development of schools can benefit greatly from the involvement of school boards and leadership teams. Increased efficiency and improved preparation for future leaders can both be facilitated by a clear understanding of school leadership positions and how they should best be distributed. Easing the pressure on school administrators. Principals are growing more independent and responsible. While the duties of school leaders, and even what they are called, may differ from one country to the next, they are always expected to guide their organizations through rapid change processes, sometimes in extremely challenging environments. They must establish connections with other school administrators, district employees, and members of their local community in order to do this. In order to oversee ongoing progress in teacher and student results, it is crucial that they stay current with innovations in teaching and learning. The principal's position stays very strong when functions and responsibilities are shared with other professionals within and outside of the school as well as with school board members. The power and influence of the principal are not diminished as the power and influence of others rise. Rather, they are expanded and enlarged while the individual burden of school leadership activities is decreased. In your situation, what ways could others be able to help administrators cope with the responsibilities of school administration? Distributing leadership for improved school performance. Distributing leadership across various persons and organizations, such as deputy principals, middle-level administrators, and individuals from other schools, is one strategy to address issues. By strengthening capabilities for continuous improvement, addressing within-school variation, and succession planning, this can increase school effectiveness. Incentives and learning opportunities may need to be created in order to encourage and reward involvement and achievement in distributed leadership teams. In order to take advantage of economies of scale, some nations have also shared leadership with neighboring schools outside the confines of the school. What incentives do you have in your system to motivate people to join decentralized leadership teams, assisting school boards in doing their duties? Effective school boards can make a big difference in their school's success. But, especially in connection to their principals, they must be well prepared, given support, and given a clear understanding of their roles and responsibilities. Processes for recruiting and choosing members of school boards should encourage the application of diverse, excellent candidates with the necessary qualifications and dedication. It is important to create frameworks to encourage active engagement and chances for skill development on pertinent subjects. In your setting, what steps are being taken to ensure that school boards are representative and display an acceptable degree of ability and commitment? Reflecting distributed leadership in policy. The idea of school leadership needs to be expanded to encompass a larger number of professionals working in and around schools. For instance, in national leadership frameworks and in connection to levels of decision-making and accountability systems, steps must be taken to adjust policy and working circumstances to reflect distributed leadership. To what level does current policy, for example, accountability, encourage or obstruct decentralized leadership? Maintaining decentralized leadership. By giving distributed leadership long-term institutional form through team structures or committees, distributed leadership may be made more enduring. Effective distributed leadership, however, is not based on official position or years of experience, but rather on knowledge. Teams may be created in response to possibilities or difficulties that are present or contextual. Distributed leadership can also help develop future leaders' leadership skills, enhancing succession planning. This style of leadership functions best when there is mutual trust and support. What possibilities and problems in schools might distributed leadership teams approach most effectively? Lever 3 of the policy, acquiring abilities for efficient school leadership. Evidence suggests that leadership development has a favorable influence on leaders' practice and can play a significant role in determining how well leaders perform. In the past 10 to 15 years, school leadership development has become a reality across the countries and is usually seen as critically important, but more cogent ways are required. Enhancing performance by developing leadership principles must acquire new abilities as a result of shifting duties and responsibilities and a wider distribution of leadership. For schools in the 21st century, leadership responsibilities include directing teaching and learning by improving teacher quality, which will result in better learning outcomes, managing resources, setting goals and tracking progress, and leading and collaborating outside the walls of the school. What new abilities do you believe will be required to lead a school in the 21st century? Examining the context and needs. Analyzing needs enables the creation of efficient programs and guarantees that the correct individuals receive the proper leadership training. In order to focus on the correct provision, it is also necessary to take into account contextual elements that affect leaders' practice. What processes are in place to identify the development needs of school leaders? Subscribe to receive notifications about new content. Do not forget to like and share. ASUED Management Consultants. Leadership/sustainability practices/facilities.